Look, Trump needs a distraction. His approval numbers are tanking fast. Americans, whether they're Democrats, Republicans, or independents, are showing up at town halls and letting it be known how much they despise this administration, how much they despise Elon Musk. So Donald Trump and his administration, what do? Let's talk about Epstein, and let's say we're going to release the Epstein files and the Epstein client list. Maybe that will distract the American people, and maybe they won't remember that Donald Trump was close friends with Jeffrey Epstein. Maybe the American people won't remember that Jeffrey Epstein would find the girls to traffic at Mar-a-Lago, like Virginia Giuffre, who was homeless and then got a job at Mar-a-Lago, and then Ghislaine Maxwell, who was trafficking for Jeffrey Epstein, found her working at Mar-a-Lago and brought her to Epstein and demanded that she massage Epstein, and then Epstein started trafficking her. Maybe the American people will forget that Donald Trump said that Epstein is a great guy who likes women on the younger side. Maybe the American people will forget that Donald Trump's name is all over depositions involving Jeffrey Epstein, is all over Jeffrey Epstein's plane log, that Jeffrey Epstein audio with the reporter emerged before the election, and it seemed like we in the Daily Beast were the only people who were covering it, where Epstein knew intricate details about the first Trump administration and talked about how Donald Trump and Melania, the first time they did you-know-what, was on the Epstein jet, and Epstein talked about how Donald Trump liked to have sex with his friends' wives, is one of the things that Epstein said. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's one of the things that Epstein said. Epstein knew intricate details. They're at parties together in Mar-a-Lago. I mean, there's a lot of data here. The Trump's all over Epstein's flight log. So they dangle this thing and just expect that their base will not know those facts. But guess what, Donald? Your base, a lot of them are now starting to watch this show because they know you're full of shit. So for those who are first watching the MeidasTouch Network too, and of course, all of those who have been here, we come with receipts here on the MeidasTouch Network. So let's come with receipts. So first, let me show you the distraction. Donald Trump's Attorney General Pam Bondi goes on Fox as our markets are crashing on Friday, and she goes, Epstein, huh? Right? I'm going to release that, and maybe MLK, and maybe RFK files, and what else? The JFK files. I'm going to release it. Here, play this clip.
Saw your appearance at CPAC with Ben and with Ted Cruz, and one of the things that you alluded to, and this is something Donald Trump has talked about, the DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, we'll check back with you.
To be clear, what she said is she was reviewing it. Do you think for a second this fascist authoritarian Trump regime is going to release it with Donald Trump's name in it? Do you think so? We know Trump's name is on things to begin with. I mean, look, Trump's name is all over the flight log of Epstein's Lolita Express. We have it here. Almost no one's flown as many times on that jet than Donald Trump. Trump liked the jet so much that when Epstein died, and you could form your own opinions about the circumstances of how that took place, but Donald Trump was flying around during the election, during the campaign, in Epstein's jet. You go, what do you mean he was flying around in the jet? I thought Epstein's dead. Yeah, Epstein died. Then his estate sold the jet to somebody. And then Donald Trump was given that jet for the campaign. He wrapped Trump 2024 on the Epstein jet and flew the same jet around to go to places when he was not flying his other bigger plane, because his other bigger plane was slower and more expensive and a pain in the ass. So he would fly on that Epstein jet a lot. Also, Epstein would fly on Trump's plane when Epstein was alive. Here's one of the articles from New York Magazine. Quote, they did board Trump's jet with a young woman of indeterminate age. I wouldn't be able to tell if she was 15 years old or 20. She was quite dressed up and quite made up, so it was hard to tell. During the first Trump administration, Epstein's trafficker, Ghislaine Maxwell, was on criminal trial for trafficking. Okay, she was found guilty, thrown in jail for the rest of her life. Trump was asked about Ghislaine Maxwell during her trial when Trump was in office the first time. Do you think Trump said, oh, she's disgusting, I condemn it in the strongest terms, she's a trafficker, I wish the worst for her? He wished her well. He wished the best for her. Here he is wishing her well. Play this clip.
Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison, and a lot of people want to know if she's going to turn in powerful people. And I know you've talked in the past about Prince Andrew, and you've criticized Bill Clinton's behavior. I'm wondering, do you feel that she's going to turn in powerful men? How do you see that working out?
I don't know. I haven't really been following it too much. I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. But I wish her well. Whatever it is, I don't know the situation with Prince Andrew. Just don't know. Not aware of it.
Mr. President.
And just so you can see it for yourself, here's a direct quote from Donald Trump to New York Magazine, 2002, quote, "I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with. It's even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side." Epstein liked girls, underage girls that he would traffic, you sicko. You disgusting person. I mean, this Trump is filthy. This is a disgusting individual who, by the way, was found liable for sexual assault. We should not forget that. And at his trial for sexual assault, Trump fled and went to Scotland and Ireland because he was too chicken shit to sit there as E. Jean Carroll's lawyer deposed him, or cross-examined him rather, during the first trial. Here's Donald Trump is with his kids and Epstein. Here Trump is partying with Epstein. Here's a deposition transcript where a woman Epstein was trafficking. This is what she said at her deposition. While they were on Jeffrey Epstein's plane, Jeffrey said, "Great, let's call up Trump and we'll go to," I don't call the name of the casino, but let's go to Trump's casino. Also at Ghislaine Maxwell's criminal trial, the one where Donald Trump wished her well, wink, wink. One of the things we found out there was Jeffrey Epstein introduced a woman. At that time, she was 14 years old when she testified she was a woman. Jeffrey Epstein introduced this person, Jane Doe, to Trump when she was 14 years old. Ghislaine Maxwell, accuser says, testifying at Maxwell's criminal trial in New York City, the woman, identified by the pseudonym Jane Doe, said she met Donald Trump in the 1990s at his Mar-a-Lago resort. By the way, it's not unique to Donald Trump. RFK Jr., Lolita Express, friends with Epstein. His wife was friends with Ghislaine Maxwell. This is what these people do. Here he is right here. RFK Jr. talking about it. Play this clip.
You weren't ever on Jeffrey Epstein's jet, were you?
I was on Jeffrey Epstein's jet 2 times. I was on it in 1993, and I was on it and I went to Florida with my wife and 2 children to visit my mom over Easter. My wife had some kind of relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell, and they offered us a ride to Palm Beach. So I went then, and then on another occasion, I flew again with my family, with I think 4 of my children, and Mary, my wife, to Rapid City, South Dakota, to go fossil hunting for a weekend. And but otherwise, I was never on his jet alone. I've been very open about this from the beginning. This was in '93, so it was 30 years ago. It was before anybody knew about Jeffrey Epstein's, his nefarious issues. And I agree with you that all of this information should be released. And we should get real answers on what happened to Jeffrey Epstein and any of the high-level political people that he was involved with. All of that should be open to the public. It should be absolutely transparent. And, I don't see why any of those records would have any redactions in them. Why would we be hiding that from the American public?
Well,
Did you know that 90% of Americans are nutrient deficient? That's a shocking number. But the solutions you'll find in the supplement aisle, they're temporary and full of synthetic ingredients and artificial sweeteners. That's why GEM is the first real food multivitamin formulated with ingredients our bodies were built to absorb and free from synthetic ingredients. Unlike most supplements that overload your body with excess vitamins it doesn't need, GEM was designed deficiency first to fill your nutritional gaps without the excess ingredients that inevitably turn into waste to the body. GEM is on a mission to make food as medicine real through bite-sized nutrition solutions that are simple and delightful to digest. Each GEM bite is a functional daily multivitamin formulated for proper absorption, packed with 20 plus nutrients, prebiotics, and probiotics, all in one delicious real food bite for foundational health. They source organic ingredients whenever possible and have nothing artificial. They even worked with a pastry chef to make sure that each bite is as delicious as it is nutritious. If you want to give the first real food multivitamin a try, head to dailygem.com/Meidas or enter Meidas at checkout for 30% off your first order. That's dailygem.com/Meidas, MEIDAS, or enter Meidas at checkout for 30% off.
All right. Now you want to hear Donald Trump in his own words, where he said that the most courageous thing he's done in his life, according to a general, was when he referred to grabbing women by their genitals as locker room talk. Donald Trump said that was the most courageous thing he did, according to this general who saw wars. When Donald Trump said locker room talk, that was the most courageous thing, according to this general. That's what Donald Trump's saying. And Donald Trump told this story I'm about to share with you in New York City before the young Republicans, in front of kids. Donald Trump told the story you're about to see in front of kids, high school students and college students. He's a sick... Play the clip.
But I went onto that stage just a few days later, and a general, who's a fantastic general, actually said to me, "Sir, I've been on the battlefield. Men have gone down on my left and on my right. I stood on hills where soldiers were killed. But I believe the bravest thing I've ever seen was the night you went onto that stage with Hillary Clinton after what happened. And then that woman asked you the first question about it. And I said, locker room talk. It's locker room talk. What the hell? What are you talking? Locker room talk." That was not a great...
And here's Donald Trump at his deposition at the sexual assault trial where he was found liable. And Donald Trump was asked about his comments about grabbing women by their genitals. And here's what he said. Play the clip.
And you say, and again, this has become very famous in this video, "I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. Just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything." That's what you said, correct?
Well, historically, that's true with stars.
It's true with stars that they can grab women by the pussy?
Well, that's what it's, if you look over the last million years, I guess that's been largely true. Not always, but largely true. Unfortunately or fortunately.
And you consider yourself to be a star?
I think you can say that, yeah.
And
here's Donald Trump talking about Lindsay Lohan. I believe she was either 18 years old or 17. I think she was 18, maybe just turned 18 at this time. And Donald Trump said that he wanted to have sex with her because he thought that she was mentally ill. And he says that having sex with the mentally ill is the best, he says. Here he is. You can hear him in his own words. Play it.
If the father's a wreck like the way he is, right? You imagine the sex with this troubled...
Yeah, you're probably right. She's probably deeply troubled and therefore great in bed.
Back in the day...
How come the deeply troubled women,
yes,
you know, deeply, deeply troubled, right, they're always the best in bed? If for some reason what I said is true, I mean, they're just unbelievable.
I can tell from the...
You don't want to be with them for the long term, but for the short term, there's nothing.
I mean, this is a sicko. This is a sicko who's destroying our country right now, who's destroying our economy, who's having Elon Musk and guys, 19-year-old guys who call themselves big balls, go access your private data. They're looking at your social security information, your medical information, your tax information, and they're admitting it. They're just saying because they're billionaires, they can do it. When you're rich, they can do it. That's what they're saying. And they're saying, why wouldn't you trust us? We're billionaires. Billionaires should be able to do this stuff. Here's Donald Trump, a billionaire, saying that one of the reasons he bought beauty pageants is so that he can inspect the girls naked at his beauty pageants and without their consent. This is him in his own words. Play this clip.
Well, you could also say as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
like
everything is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
Now, may I share with you some of the beauty pageants that Donald Trump ran? Donald Trump hosted this one, the Look of the Year competition. Here are some of the people in his beauty pageants, and they would go on yachts traveling around New York. The Guardian wrote a whole story about this, described the girls gyrating on men old enough to be their grandparents as the men said, "Bring me another, bring me another." It's called the Look of the Year competition. So why don't we do this? I know they're trying to distract us with the Epstein stuff, but let's check back. Let's see if they really release the whole DOJ files. All of them. Let's see them all. I know what's on the files already. I know what's on the ones that have been released. So release them. Release them, Pam Bondi. Put them all out there. And I want you all to see this because I want you to know the sick degenerate in the Oval Office. I want you to know what a despicable person he is. As he does all this other crap right now to our country, I just want you to forget this is a evil, awful person. And sometimes you're like, why would these people do it? Because they're evil, awful people sometimes. Cruelty's the point, and they've lived disgusting, vile lives forever, doing the sickest shit to people. Sickening stuff. And we will stand up to it here, and we will call it out fearlessly. As I said, until they rip this microphone from my very hand, we will stand up here on the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're marching to 5 million subscribers. Rise up, America. Rise up the world against this crap.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.